Live.
Welcome to Knoxville Ultimate Summer League Periscope Show. We are so glad to have you back tuning in with us for week number...
This is the third week.
Three.
Los El Tresos Weekos.
That's right.
So, week number 2, how did it go?
Well, we talked about how I ended a week of Ultimate, so that was good.
Okay. How did your games go? Is what we're talking about.
We talked about. No, teams went 1-1. Thursday team won, and that's about it.
Okay, looks like he doesn't want to talk about Wednesday.
My therapist said I shouldn't do it in public.
Okay. How'd your team do, Ashley?
We did good as a team. I will say I was a little bummed my personal playing this week. I tried to put on my grabbers and they just weren't catching anything. So anyway, but we got another lady onto our team. So we have 3 gals now in my open league team, and that was really great. And yeah, she was really great at meeting some new people.
Yeah, always excited to have more ladies.
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't even know if ladies registration is signed up. Talk to Melanie about that. We always need more ladies. Always, always, always. My team was kind of rough. We had 4 guys there. Not 4 guys missing, 4 guys there. So the 5 guys that were missing, we really miss you. Hope you come back someday. Don't leave us out to dry. Because I play like every point just about. So.
And that's bad. Don't have Jacob play
really
every
do
point.
need to.
Ask Tinker, he said, the less you throw the disc, the better. All right. So let's get started with some club team updates. Mixed results. We had our first practice yesterday.
First practice of the year. It was mega awesome.
Yep. Numbers were a little down, of course, because of what we're about to talk about next, which is a tournament out of town. But I think practice went really well.
It went really great. We had a true mixed practice. 4 women, 5 guys. We played some short court. What do you call that?
Mini.
We played some mini and 4-on-4, which was mega awesome. We did some drills, and of course, we threw a little bit of a dance party. And we did a name circle. Like, what could be better? Nothing is
Well, your presence would make it better when you show up next Monday.
That's right.
Exactly
Come to mixed
right.
results practice.
From 6 to 8 at West Park Baptist Church. Should be posted on the Knoxville Ultimate Facebook page, as well as in various sources on social media. Also, don't forget, we announced it last week, but this weekend, May 18th, from 12 to 4, Snow Cone is having their club team tryouts. It's at Victor Ashe. It's open to anybody who wants to come. There's a team dinner to hang out and chill and get to know each other and win the party, which I guess that could get you on the team too. So come hang out, have fun with them.
I feel like I've won a lot of parties and I haven't made a lot of teams, so I'm not sure how that correlates.
Might be a personal problem.
Winning a party's never a problem.
I don't know. All right.
Before we get into that, actually, I'd like to say that we have a producer this week.
Oh yeah.
Well, according to the Witness Protection Program, we're not allowed to mention his name. But thanks to our friends at KTRB, we now have a producer. So thank you, funding.
We've got some fun stuff in store later on in the year, so just stay tuned for those. So this weekend we had a tournament in Destin and in Virginia Beach. Destin is called Surf and Turf, where you're supposed to be able to play on the grass, aka the turf, and on the beach. But I heard one of the days was canceled.
Yeah, the surfing day. That's what I heard.
No
Due to
surfing.
some weather. So, turf
Yeah.
and no surf.
Just turfing it,
Just turf.
like when I
Just
play.
turfing.
That joke brought to you by Adam Tinker.
Yep, because he's a dad. But seriously, they both teams went 2-2 from Knoxville on Saturday, and then on Sunday games were canceled for the beach. But Knoxville and Chattanooga were supposed to play, but instead they did this like spirited thing where they played in mixed teams, and so who knows who really won? I guess they all did.
The
since they got to
fans.
play. Yeah, the
Wow.
people heckling on the sideline must have won that game.
Absolutely.
More seriously, however, Beach Nationals happened this weekend in Virginia Beach. I'm wearing a Beaches and Cream shirt that I got to play on that team last year, but Jenny Newby also went and got 3rd in Mixed Masters, so congrats, Jenny.
That's our mixed results captain.
And
guys.
her teammates.
She's really wonderful. If you come, you can be in her presence.
Yep, that's a sight to behold. In addition to that, we also had 4 other players. I'm sorry.
4 other teams. I think a couple of the teams had multiple players on it.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Brody Brotman was on Scrap Heap, and they got 6th. Kinling Sham, which I think her nickname is actually ShamWow, so she was on the team ShamWow as ShamWow. They got 11th. And then Fleetwood and I believe also John Markham were on a team from Charleston, and they got 13th. I forget their name.
Their team name was Didn't Get 14th.
Sounds good. All right, so we have a real treat in store for you all this week. Our guest is a mom herself, so let's welcome up Brenda Kerr to the stage.
Brenda! Woo, woo, woo!
Commercial break provided by Savage Ultimate. Savage, where Knoxville Ultimate gets their jerseys from.
All of them. So Rhonda, welcome to the show.
Hi.
You found the place okay?
Found it.
All right, good deal. Now, I want to talk to you about Mother's Day and a whole bunch of topics. Before we do, I'd like for us to talk about something serious for a moment.
Okay.
For everyone in the community probably already knows that we lost one of our greatest, not only physical players, but spirited players this spring in Joseph Fugit.
Yeah.
Now, you have been playing a role not with the Fugits, not as a support group, as a gatekeeper, any number of things to help the Fugits out. I wanted to ask you, based off of your strong relationship with them, what can we do to help them right now as we go, as we continue remembering Joseph?
Gosh. I think the whole draw is the inclusiveness of the Ultimate community, and how easily and quickly that group has just rallied around one of their own. I just think there's phenomenal healing power in staying connected to the community, to that group that Joseph was such a huge part of. It was such a huge part of him, and he played such a large role and was such a good athlete and such a phenomenal player. And just to continue to have the Ultimate community be present and be there for them. I can't imagine that doesn't provide some connection that they're always going to crave and always going to need. And, I can't presume to always speak for them or to ever speak for them, but I personally would want just that continued connection.
And one of the things about Joseph that was great was not only him as a player, but him as a character, as the goof guy, the one who almost never got mad.
I think Joseph was a squeeze the day kind of person. He loved just every minute of his eyes being open, I believe.
Yeah, there was a time when I was coaching STEM with him and another player dressed up like the coaches.
That was pretty awesome.
I feel like his representation of me was incorrect.
We thought it was spot on.
But honestly, the memories that he gave us will live with the community and each of us as individuals. I want to talk to you about some of your favorite memories with Joseph.
Oh, my absolute favorite memory was last summer when Joseph and Connor and Ben Robinson.
Was this at Nationals?
They were playing for YCC.
Okay.
They played on Nashville. And I drove because somebody had to bring a cooler. And so I made the unwise choice to drive, and that meant we had to drive home. And so I had Connor and B-Rob in the back of my van. And it's dark, and GPS routed me on this chunk of interstate that was one lane in one direction, and it's nothing but pylons and cones. And I'm stressed out and already tired, and just from the back of my van, I hear the wildest cackling, and I said, "What is going on?" And Connor said, Joseph just got pulled off the plane.
What?
So he apparently had he'd boarded the plane with the YCC team with his
Oh.
coach, and realized that he'd been allowed to get on the plane with a water gun that he'd gotten as a spirit award, and so he pulls the water gun out of his backpack and got his coach's attention and said, "Hey, they let me on the plane with this." It upset someone on the plane who complained, and air marshals took him off the plane so that he could be interviewed by Homeland Security for a couple hours before he was allowed back on the plane. And so the two that I'm hauling down the road are just falling apart. I said, no, this can't be true. And they're like, no, we've got Snapchats.
Oh my gosh.
So we pull over. And I said, somebody really needs to call and tell Judy this is not something you want to find out, you know.
Yeah.
She may need to get up here. And so, yeah, that by far was the
Oh, my
best
goodness.
ever.
That is great.
So, and as somebody who's coached, you know, and I've been admittedly kind of hard on Joseph when I coached there. I was also perhaps a little hard on your son. What's it like as a mother when you watch your kids being coached?
Sometimes it's really hard to take, but you know that this is something that your kid really wants to do, and they keep saying, I really want to do this, and they keep asking you for money to continue doing it, and you keep driving them to practices, and you keep buying the stuff for them, and you keep traveling to the tournaments, and then they don't always play as much as you would like to see them play, and maybe that's because they just haven't developed the skill that they need to do that, and that's fine too, but sometimes it's kind of hard to watch your kid being barked at by somebody who's not you. But you know, in the end, you realize that that's what they need, and that's not your role as a parent. Then you step back and you let that happen, and then all of the magic just works.
That's good. Speaking of magic, we have a surprise second guest I'd like to welcome up, if that's okay with you.
Okay.
Connor's actually here himself, so we can see this interaction happen, so I'm going to step off screen. Welcome, Connor.
Hey, baby.
What's up?
So Connor, actually, I want you to listen to this question and answer real quick.
Alright.
I want to know how Ultimate's affected Connor, from your standpoint.
From my standpoint?
Yeah.
Wow. I think there was a point where in Connor's youth he could have made some very different decisions than he has made now, and I think that it was because of the sport. I think it was because of the community. I think it was because of his relationship with his coaches and his love for his teammates, that he made really good choices and kind of pulled himself away from some things that could have not ended as well.
Connor, same question. Like, how has Ultimate affected you as a person?
I just think it's given like a really strong backbone of a community that like no matter what's going on, like it's always something that's constant and is always there. Like you have a bad day at school, you have a bad day at work, you have summer league, you have pickup, you have whatever's going on to go to after that, and it always just kind of brings that up and like makes your day better. Again, I don't think I've had bad experiences that have made my day worse. They've always made it better.
It always seems like there are plenty of people who are willing to stand in the gap, I think.
Now, I understand that there is a KnoxUlty account, and for a week, you actually had charge of this account being something that's kind of passed around Ultimate communities that they can highlight their individual community. Talk to me about your experience with the KnoxUlty account.
It was really cool. I mean, just to put it plain and simple, but yeah, I had no expectations of actually getting it. I just emailed them and said, hey, this is where I'm located. Like, I'm interested, and they were like, yeah, we haven't had somebody from there in a while, so sure. And it was really cool.
That was a good idea.
yeah, that was my question. But yeah, just like getting, because my experiences have been kind of limited to like the Southeast and like teams there, and of course like changed a little bit with YCC and everything. But it was individual players and coaches and just people who have some connection to the sport from all over the country, and I mean all over the world, honestly. Like I had some of the like one of the Carnedas twins from Colombia that I was talking to, and like that was really cool. And just people who are, I mean, in my eyes, like extremely good at the sport. Like I know Trent Dillon took it over at one point. Rowan McDonald took it over. Like it was crazy. Like it was really cool.
And before we get to the next line of questioning, I want to know who designed Connor's Callahan video.
Joseph's?
Yeah.
Okay. So
Sorry.
we, as the Swamp team, we had no idea about it. We had a team meeting one night. It was like towards the end of the season. I think it was our last like practice night before regionals, and they put it up, and like it was really cool. Like Jeremiah put it up, he introduced it, he read off about it and everything, and we found out that he had been working on it for a while at that point, and it was him, one of the guys, Brian, that plays for us as well, and then Sacavello, and they all three worked on it together, and like without anybody knowing about it, and released it for us.
By the way, if you haven't seen it, you owe it to yourself to watch it. It is amazing.
It's really good.
I before watching it, I didn't think that really almost any human being was capable of doing what he did in that video. It's lights out. Now here's probably my favorite twist to this. Rhonda, you're now playing in Summer League.
Yeah. Suckered in.
How? How did we sucker you in?
Golly. You know, I spent a lot of time watching and observing from the sidelines and heckling this guy and making sandwiches and swiping a Visa but just to observe and have that connection with other parents and to develop relationships. One, to deepen my relationship with my own child, but to develop a relationship with his friends and get to know them and their families, and then by extension, you know, other players and older players, and then he leaves and goes away to college and leaves me with an empty nest, and I'm thinking, yeah, I got to have some of that. I want some of that. That's awesome.
I think I can speak for the community when I say it's amazing to have you on board.
Oh, well, thanks. I'm just trying not to have a heart attack. I'm not going to lie.
Well, at the end of the show, we have Ashley's health tips that will help you not go into cardiac arrest.
Doubtful, but okay.
So what's your best throw right now?
One that I throw?
Yeah. Well, we can't talk about what I throw because apparently that's illegal now. So.
Gee, what's that called? I have a good backhand.
All right. Does she?
I haven't actually got to see her play yet, so
Oh.
that is to be determined.
And my understanding is you're going for a month this summer to Honduras.
Yeah, I have an internship down there for the whole summer, so I'm not able to play, unfortunately.
So you're running out of time to see her before you go.
I'm hoping to make it out tomorrow night and see her.
All right. So my understanding is you're on Jenny and Peter's team.
Yes.
They are checking the standings.
Awesome.
1-1.
It's not, there's not a zero in there. That's really awesome.
So, how are you going to make them 2-1 tomorrow?
maybe not show up. Listen, I mean, I have no delusions. I am the worst player out at Victor Ash on Wednesday nights, hands down.
Now, before you say that, you heard Jacob's intro.
And you coached this kid freshman year, so I am the worst player at Victor Ash, hands down. So,
And sophomore year.
You know how bad it can get.
Well, Rhonda, thank you for coming.
Oh, thanks
Connor,
for having me.
Absolutely.
Thank your mom for coming.
Thank you.
So we'll move on to the rest of the show.
Awesome.
All right. Thank you,
Oh,
guys.
thanks, y'all. Rhonda, you really, I saw you playing Spring League. You were phenomenal.
That was
A true
ridiculous.
inspiration out
That
there.
was ridiculous.
A true inspiration to us all.
Wow, that was
That was a great interview.
fantastic. I don't know how we're gonna follow it up.
I don't know.
It's
either.
going to be
Guess we
Sock
just-
Puppet Theater next week.
Yeah.
Keep going. Keep going.
That might be amazing. Maybe that's a show idea for later. Who knows?
Okay,
You'll have to
so-
watch.
Let's get to it, boys. I got
All right.
questions about Wednesday Night League. You guys
Sounds
both
good.
play, and I have to know which team is on the rise this week.
On the rise from this past week. I'm gonna say Sierra and Josh.
Oh, okay.
They don't have a team name yet, but week 1 they won by 1 point with the whole lightning delay. But last week they won by 5.
Oh,
And
so who
you know,
knows?
I think they're starting to put some stuff together.
Hold your horses. If we are talking pure point diff,
Here contest.
then we're going to have to go Atomic Dump. They go from -1 to up 7. 8-point differential. How are you going to throw that away, man? Use the numbers.
Okay, you know what? It's okay. Opinions are good. Just some are like belly buttons. They smell. Did that make sense? Okay, I'm getting good at it. Anyway, all right, boys. Game
Ashley
to watch.
Myers, everybody.
Game to watch this week on Wednesday nights. Tomorrow, obviously, Rhonda's game. Other thoughts?
I think. Well, that was going to be the one I talked about. But let's say we're going to go with Rust versus Atomic Dump, the team on the rise. So Rust is currently ranked number 1. They're 2-0. Point differential is +14. And Atomic Dump is, as we just noted, 1-1, but their point differential is +6. That should be a really fun game. Markham against Ben Nanny. I want to see that matchup.
Take that, rewind it back. You've got the 2 seed and the 3 seed playing this week. This is a chance for the Nuggets to come back after what happened this weekend, by which I mean the Denver Nuggets.
That's rough.
Too soon? Against 2%. You've got the 2 and the 3 seed right up against each other. Ellie and Logan, Liz and Frank. If this were Monday Night Football, I'd put down the beer and watch.
Well, all right. Last but not least, what are our favorite team names for this Wednesday Night League so far?
Favorite team.
We have a
name.
few to pick from.
You know, personally, I have to say my team, which is Mauve Out the Way, because that's what we're going to be yelling at each other all the time, to Mauve Out the Way.
Great. Got a slogan and everything.
But the most clever so far, I don't know, Blu-ray disc players, just kind of before and after puzzle like it's classic Wheel of Fortune or something.
I like it. Jeremy, you have a thought?
So, I like keeping it teal.
That's a
I
good one.
think, I think it's
That's a
classic.
good name.
I understand the producer may be on that team, and if so, Kellen Fortunato, sometimes it's cool to win games too, man. But whatever, you go on your float. You go on your float.
All right, moving on to Thursday League. Let's go with the same line of questioning, to use a lawyer term. What's team on the rise this week, Jeremy, for Thursday?
Bro, do you even have to ask? The comeback by Sweetie from a 4-point loss to a 1-point victory, 5% point diff. I mean, we were at stages in the game where I was getting D's, I was throwing all over the place. Much like me on the dance floor, me on the ultimate field was global warming.
Oh, goodness. Oh, goodness.
All right.
My
What do you
team
think?
on the rise is Steven's team because
Okay.
they're in 8th place, so they can only go up.
Oh. Hit me, Navy, one more time.
Yep.
All right. So, matchup of the week?
I'm going to go with Agent Orange, Ethan's team.
against Soweedy.
Yes.
You
Oh!
think they're going to give Jeremy's team a spanking?
That's a good one. Yes, well, we played against them last week, and I think they had some really good moves that Jeremy won't be able to claim lightning to defend.
And
So
y'all
I
beat
think
them
that
pretty handily last week too. So
we did, but I think they were still really good.
okay,
So I think that
Alright.
they'll still beat them.
I'm gonna go with Team Clay Leach Enterprises
all right,
versus Grass.
all right.
Now, we played Grass last week. I think they're a fun team. I think they're a young team. Watching them against Clay is going to be hilarious. Obviously, because of my week 1 prediction, heckle that team. So you get to stand up for the youth of America, and you get to heckle Clay. 2 birds, 1 stone.
There you go. Nice little idiomatic phrase. Last but not least, favorite team name, real quick.
Definitely hit me Navy one more time.
Hit me Navy one more time.
You
Get
guys
your
did
classic
that.
Britney Spears out there.
Hit me Navy one more time.
As an alum of the team, I'm going to have to go with Agent Orange. Brings back the old UT days of when they weren't bad.
Shots of fire.
So, Ethan, good job. Also, way to recruit everybody you know on your team. Good work, Haas.
Yep. And if you dunk on Jeremy, you can let us know. We'll spotlight it next week.
Yeah, on Ripley's Believe It or Not.
All right. Yep. Next, we have set change and soon to come health tips with Ashley.
Woo-woo! Hello, everyone. This week on Health Tips with Ashley, we have a very important line of questioning. I couldn't think of what it was. Stretching, y'all, and we have a great volunteer to show us. Come on stage, come on stage. Oh, okay, back off. Okay, so there are 2 main types of stretching, you see. There are static stretches and there are dynamic stretches.
What is the difference?
Oh, I'm so glad you asked, Jeremy. Dynamic stretches are fast-paced. They're meant to loosen up your joints and your muscles. They're used before you work out, also known as a warm-up. Jeremy, I need you to get up here. I'm gonna give you some dynamic stretches. You need to act them out, okay? First dynamic stretch, lunges with a twist.
All right, so am I doing this right?
Yep, and then twist. Oh, yeah, look at that twist, ladies and gentlemen. One more. Oh, yeah, there you go. Look at that twist. Okay, high knees. Go, high knees. Oh, look at how high those knees were. All right, figure 4 hugs. There, oh, yeah, almost. Oh, you nearly got it. Yep, that looked great. Okay, over, unders.
So,
You almost had it. That was really close. Okay, push the duckies. Yeah, nope, you're not swaddling enough. Swaddle more. There we go.
I hate these ducks.
Swaddle the ducks. Okay, karaoke. Yep, okay, last one. Backwards run. Yeah, that was great. Now you're thinking, what in the world are static stretches? I'm so glad you asked. Those are actually completely different than dynamic stretches. We use static stretches at the end. These are longer stretches that are solitary. They're meant to lengthen and increase flexibility. And believe it or not, static stretches can actually cause injury if you don't do them after warming up. So the reason why you do static stretches in a cool down is because if you do them in a warm up, you actually might injure yourself. The more you know. Jeremy, let's get to some static stretching. All right, the first one, the middle reach. Yeah, oh no, hands to the ground, don't bend your knees, you can do it. All right, now the runner's lunge. Yeah, okay, no, all the way, lunge forward. Yep, there you go. Okay, now the pigeon. That's where you, yep, you just lean, yep, oh yeah. You're very close. And then last but not least, the V-sit and reach. Yeah. That's great. Now, if you guys are thinking, I don't want to stretch because I don't want to look like that guy, don't worry, it couldn't be much worse. So here's my reminder. Stay warm and don't forget to stretch. Otherwise, you'll end up like Jeremy. All right, come back on, Jacob. Come back on.
Wow, I got an ab workout from that.
Just watching was enough.
Yep. All right, quick hits, and then we'll wrap this show up. Personnel updates. If you have any information about somebody's injury, somebody's going to be missing for an extended period of time, please send it in to us. You should have our contact information or find us on the fields. So last week I talked to Melanie as games were starting, and she had just been to the doctor, and she basically said, I'm ecstatic, I'm cleared to play, just a couple PT appointments, so it sounds like Melanie is going to be okay. Steven, I talked to him about his knee as well. His knee's healing up. Sounds like he's doing better. I don't think Jeremy has any permanent lasting injuries from what just happened, but we'll see.
For my teams, hopefully not.
He needs to stretch more.
Yep. Anything else y'all know about?
No injuries on my end.
Okay.
Just pride.
Yeah.
Yep. My team is too injured to walk to the fields and show up, so hopefully we'll have some of
Yes,
them.
I hope
More
that
than
they-
4 guys this next week.
Absolutely.
Last but not least, weather.
Weather.
Jeremy, what's the Wednesday weather looking like?
We're looking at 72 degrees, kind of warm, not too hot. 20% chance of rain, chance of thunderstorms. So if I get a D, we're ending it there, kiddos.
All right. Ashley, what's Thursday?
Thursday looks partly cloudy with high around 80, so plan to sweat, lots of water. Look at last week's episode if you need tips on drinking water. And winds are light and variable. It doesn't sound too aggressive. Sounds like perfect from weather.
Throwers wind, yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Absolutely.
All right. Well, my name is Jacob, and safe travels, except when you play Ultimate.
Jeremy, you will hear, don't suck.
And I'm Ashley, and we want to remind you that you rock. Don't ever change unless it's for the better, and never stop growing.
Unless it's your underwear. Dear Lord, change your underwear.